Kami po ay naniniwala na si Pangulong Duterte ay hindi nararapat na manungkulan bilang pinakamataas na opisyal ng ating bansa.
Magdalo Party List Representative Gary Alejano files an impeachment complaint against President Rodrigo Duterte Wednesday morning. Alejano lists 5 grounds to oust the president: culpable violation of the Constitution, engaging in bribery, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, and other high crimes. Alejano states President Duterte committed multiple murder when he adopted a policy of inducing law enforcers and/or members of vigilante groups into extrajudicial killings of more than 8,000 people in the war on drugs.
Yung pagpapatay ng kapwa Pilipino na hindi man lang dumaan sa proseso, democratic processes na meron ho tayo sa ngayon. Huwag na ho nating hintayin na maging 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 ang mamamatay upang tayo tumayo at lumaban.
Alejano also claims when Mr. Duterte was Davao City Mayor, he organized certain policemen into an anti-crime task force, which engaged in the extrajudicial killing of more than 1,400 suspected drug pushers and addicts in Davao City. Asked if the president can be removed for crimes committed when he was mayor,
kailangan mabigyan ho sila ng hustisya dahil naniniwala kami na kahit sino ka man sa bansang ito, sa Pilipinas, dapat mananagot ang gumawa ng krimen at naglabag ng saligang batas.
Alejano also claims Mr. Duterte committed graft and corruption. The complaint states that a total of 2.2 billion pesos was deposited and/or transferred to the bank accounts of the president and his family from 2006 to 2015, based on documents gathered by Senator Antonio Trillanes, also a member of the Magdalo Group. It states that this amount, plus about 50 other properties under the name of Mr. Duterte and his family, were not in the president's statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth. And also as Davao City Mayor, Alejano says Mr. Duterte had more than 11,000 so-called ghost or non-existent employees, which cost the city government 708 million pesos. The complaint states this is tantamount to plunder. Alejano admits this impeachment complaint will face a tough battle at the House of Representatives. But Alejano is not losing hope.
Pero ho kami ho naniniwala na marami ho ang susuporta sa complaint na ito. In fact, marami na rin, may nag-signify na rin sasama ho dito.
As in any deliberative body, the majority rules in the House. And the reality is, 266 out of 292 lawmakers, or 9 out of 10, support President Duterte. Joyce Ila, CNN Philippines.
Senator Laila De Lima joining me now from Washington. She is also the former chair of the Philippines Senate Committee on Justice and Human Rights. We really appreciate you joining us here on CNN today. You know, it's incredible what you've been through. You've been ousted as the head of the committee that's been investigating these extrajudicial killings, as we said in that piece. You've been accused by Duterte's allies of being connected to the drug trade, and you've had some threats on your life. In light of all of this that you've been through since being the leading critic of Duterte, how have you been able to carry on and continue this fight to stop these killings?
Well, I just have to really continue fighting, because in the first place, killings have continued up to this very moment. As we speak, killings are happening. There are daily killings in the country today, and that's why I had to call for that Senate probe into the spate of extrajudicial killings, and that's when I again incurred his ire after having done so 7 years ago in 2009, when I also investigated the prevalence of killings in Davao City attributed to the so-called Davao Death Squad. So since killings continue, I have to continue criticizing it and calling for the end of those killings, because that is totally unacceptable. In the name of the so-called war on drugs, that cannot be the solution.
What is your ultimate goal? considering, the backlash you've been facing at home, what do you hope to achieve in the end?
Well, I'm just hoping, Amara, that, one day he's struck with his conscience and start giving the orders to the police to stop the killings, because that is all that it would take for the president to categorically give that order to stop the killings. The moment it is done, I'm almost 100% sure that killings would stop. And I also hope that the majority of our people, of the Filipinos who are God-fearing, we Filipinos are God-fearing because we are a Catholic country, and therefore we all know that killing is bad. Killing is a sin. Killing is against the law of both men and the law of God.
But why do you think Duterte would actually stop the killings and heed these calls? I mean, there's been so much international criticism and condemnation. There's been so many stories about these families who've been impacted by these deaths of these quote-unquote suspects, and Duterte's approval ratings remain high. So what incentive does he have to listen to the criticism and the calls to just stop his war on drugs?
Well, really, that is something, of course, this is a wishful thinking on my part, and all others in the Philippines who are also opposed to what's happening in the country. But, he is a lawyer, he is a former prosecutor, and he claims to uphold the Constitution because that is his sworn duty. If he is serious and if he is sincere in upholding the Constitution and upholding the laws, then he should stop the killings, or he should order those killings to stop.
You're a lawyer yourself. Is there anything that Duterte has done and said that is illegal? I mean, first of all, let's talk about this admission that he made. Yes.
Correct. Well, there you have it. That's what I've been saying all along. That's what I've been, that's what I know all along. And that's what Mr. Cesar Matobato, the self-confessed hitman of the so-called Davao Death Squad, told us in the course of that Senate probe.
So what are the consequences of such an admission? I mean, he's the president of the Philippines, but you have a leader here saying, listen, I took the law into my own hands as a mayor, and I was on a motorcycle and I killed suspects. There was no due process. So what does the law say about a leader of a country doing that in the Philippines?
I should say that that is an impeachable offense. That is a culpable violation of the Constitution. That is betrayal of public trust, and that constitute high crimes, because these are mass murders. Mass murders certainly fall under the category of high crimes, and high crimes is a ground for impeachment under our Constitution.
This is a performance being staged for us